Yo, before I begin this video, I just want to let y'all know that I'm a regular civilian. I'm no thug, gangster. I'm not part of a gang. I don't promote gun violence or any of that. The only thing that I promote is 2A. The right to bear arms. The right to protect and defend your family as well as your property. Stay dangerous. Let's go. So I'm going to show you all, what I pack. A little something, you know what I'm saying? I'm not showing you all my firearms, but I'm just going to, let you all in and inspire and motivate you to, own a firearm. So I got this right here, this Taurus G3C. You know what I'm saying? Right here. And then right here on the side of the bed, pull this joint out. I got the Canik TP9SF with the O light right there. Boom. This is for the bad guys. This is for the bad guys. We can't be victims anymore. We can't be victims anymore, man. We have to definitely stay vigilant. Stay dangerous. Let's go. So we're going to do things a little different here. I'm not going to tell you that the crime rate has gone down or up. I'm not going to give you how many homicides that we had this past year in 2021. I'm not going to say any of that. Straight up. But what I will say, because I need you women to be most attentive, that sexual assault has gone up. I will say that. But at the end of the day, regardless of whether homicides have gone up, the crime rate has gone up or gone down, whatever. What I recommend here in Charlotte or anywhere where you can carry a handgun, rifle, or overall a firearm legally to protect and defend yourself is to stay dangerous. That's what I recommend. That is the solution to all crimes. Straight up, is to stay dangerous. To be ready so you don't have to get ready. It's just that plain and simple. So some of you all that are moving from like Los Angeles and New York City, these places have the worst gun laws on the planet, which is crazy, you know what I'm saying? Because in the Constitution, the Second Amendment, it states that you have the right to bear arms. So why is it that you New Yorkers and Californians can't do that? Straight up. And I understand, due to the population and this and that, but it's all politics to me, in my opinion. At the end of the day, anyone, that decides that they want to protect and defend their property as well as their family should have the right to. That plain and simple. And here in these southern states like Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, all of these southern states, you can basically purchase a rifle. Like the gun laws here are not as bad as it is in New York City or in California, specifically Los Angeles. It's not. So I would recommend here in Charlotte, if you plan on moving here, is to stay dangerous. Get to know your laws and understand them so that you could be able to protect and defend your property. If you have a family, your family. That plain and simple. So if you don't have any felonies, you don't have any domestic violence, abuse, or gun charges, robberies and stuff like that, you can actually go online right now and order you an AR-15, a shotgun, a rifle. Here in the state of North Carolina, you don't need a permit for a rifle. I know this because I went to Blackstone, which is located off of Wilkinson Boulevard, gun range. And I bought my lower from them. So, the AR-15 comes in two parts. You got your upper and you got your lower. I bought the lower from them. And you have to wait a couple of minutes. They are a FFL. FFL is a federal firearm license. So you have to fill out your paperwork. Before you purchase before you purchase it, and you fill out your paperwork. It goes to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. And they run your information through, and if it approves, comes back and approve, you go and you pay for it. Came home, went online, ordered my upper from Palmetto Armory, gun shop or whatever. That's in South Carolina. I got my upper in, I think, 2 to 3 days. Boom, put it together, put a scope on there that Pretty Ricky recommended to me. Took that shit out to the range. Pop, pop, pop. I was good. Now, if you want a handgun such as like a Glock, that's something different. You need a permit here in the state of North Carolina for that. And in order to get a permit, you go to, Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Department. You fill out the application there. I think the permit costs $5. You can get up to 10 or more. I haven't used it in a long time. And you fill out your, the paperwork or whatever. They'll let you know how long it's going to take, because it's like a bar there, and it states, your application is pending, and then it moves over to the next level, whatever. But I can tell you that there's a long line, waiting line for those permits. You know what I'm saying? So basically, the year before last, I think it was 2 years ago, that I had actually filled out the application for my permit or whatever, and it took, I think I did it in October, and I got my permits in June. So it's gonna take a little while. But once you get your permits, you could be able to go to Cabela's, Pro Bass Shop, any gun range that sells firearms, handguns. They have gun shows, every year here. And you could just, boom, buy it. That plain and simple. Now, the thing with firearms, regardless of whether you have a permit or not, you cannot conceal the weapon. You can't. You have to have something separate from a gun permit in order to conceal your weapon. In order to, like, if you would get in the car, to put your firearm under your seat or in the glove compartment, or keep it in your possession under your shirt or something like that. Or like when you're walking, out and about, you can have it concealed under your shirt or wherever you want to put it. You need something different than a permit, and it's called a CCW, and that CCW stands for Carry Concealed Weapons License. And that's something else that you have to go through, a process that you have to go through. And the process that you have to go through, first you have to find someone that's doing CCW classes. You understand? And once you find somebody that does that, the classes are normally between 6 to 8 hours. You go in there and you take you go through the information. You can actually, as the teachers, giving you the information, talking to you and getting you to understand the different laws, in the state of North Carolina, gun laws, that is. You have like these papers, and you go through it, and you can be able to copy down notes or whatever have you. And at the end of that, session or class, you take a written test. The written test, normally most teachers, that's teaching the class, will allow you to use your notes or whatever. The written test it's not even difficult. I mean, some of the questions I had to refer back to my notes, but most of it I already knew because I was very attentive. I definitely wanted to get my CCW, and I was not playing games. Normally the class is like $100. I got mine through Groupon, so it only cost me like $65. And okay, so after you take the written test, then you go out to a range, and you do the field test. And the field test is you have to shoot from 3 yards, 5 yards, and 7 yards, which is not difficult at all. Trust me. I think it's it's 3, 5, 7. That's right. 3 yards, 5 yards, and 7 yards, which is not difficult at all. For you women that feel as though that, you're not capable or able to, you know what I'm saying, pass the test or whatever, which you can do before you get your permit, or whether, you know, your CCW, or you don't have a firearm at all, you don't know anything about firearms, but you're a single parent, you moved here from New York or wherever have you. Let's say you're not a single parent. Let's just say you're a young female, you know what I'm saying, that just wants protection. Well, you could go to any gun range and just walk in there and say, hey, listen, I don't know anything about any type of firearms, but I'm willing to learn. And there will be someone, there'll be an instructor to teach you gun safety, how to hold the firearm, all of that. Let them know that you want to eventually get your CCW and that you want to practice. And they provide the firearms where you have to rent the guns out, you know, and also the ammunition, in which you have to pay for. But at the end of the day, anybody could pass that test. Once you pass the test, you get your certificate. You get your certificate, you go back online, you go online, the same place that you got the permit from. You know what I'm saying? I was telling you about the Mecklenburg Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Department. You go on there, you fill out the application. The application is like $100. And you make sure you keep your certificate and all of that stuff. You pay the money, and then they'll give you dates that you could pick out in order that I think what is it? I think the information is just certificate and all of that stuff. I'm sorry, let me take that back. Your certificates and all of that stuff, I think you fax all of that stuff over to the Sheriff's Department. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. And I would advise you to bring it with you, you know, the date that they give you to, if I'm not mistaken, you fax it. It's been a long time, man. I apologize. For me, you know what I'm saying? Either you fax it, just follow the instructions once you get online to the Sheriff's Department. But at the end of the day, you get all the information. They give you the date. You know what I'm saying? The date is gonna be, if you filled out all the paperwork and went through the whole process or whatever, in June, trust me, your date to go to the Sheriff's Department is gonna be in January of next year. That's a long wait too. You understand? But once you go there, they're gonna fingerprint you. You're gonna give them, that's right. You're gonna give them all your information before they fingerprint you. So bring your certificate, bring your license, and all of the information that they require you to have when you're on the site. Because they'll let you know on the site, on the Sheriff's Department, Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Department site. Give them all that information, they fingerprint you, and then they'll let you know. Before they fingerprint you, they'll let you know when around about you're going to get your CCW in the mail, because they're going to send it in the mail. And that may take another 6 months. At the end of the day, I know it's a long process, but trust me, at the end of the day, you're going to be glad that you did it or got it done when you get it done. Like, I could sit here and tell you about, the numbers, of this many homicides and this many car break-ins and blah, 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 blah. And for what? For what? For what? When I can just tell you, stay dangerous. That plain and simple. That plain and simple. Seriously. Get it out of the way. And let's just say you get your permit, right? And now you have your handgun. You can carry your handgun on your hip. You just can't conceal it. And you can't go in, regardless of whether you have your CCW or not. You cannot go in any store that has that sign that says no guns, no weapons allowed, regardless of whether you have your CCW or not. And I will say this, at the end of the day, regardless of what anybody tells you, the most important thing in possessing a firearm, gun ownership, is gun safety. See, a lot of people are scared of guns, which I don't understand. That firearm should be part of your family. Let me tell you something. I have several firearms in my house. And I can tell you, my children don't fear those firearms. Matter of fact, I've put it in the hands of each and every one of my children, down to the 3-year-old. And I know some of you minorities, specifically black people, was, oh my God, that's the problem with us. That's the problem with us. Minorities. We think, every time we think about firearms, or rather guns, pistols, blickies, sticks, whatever you want to call them, we always think that it always comes in mind illegal. No, if you do things the legal way and you take care of that gun will take care of you. That gun can potentially save your life. And this is the problem that we as civilians have. That all of these people, I ain't gonna say all of them, but there are some people that are crooks, robbers, criminals. And they look at this at us as VICs, short for victims. And they prey on the so-called weak. And I can tell you, there have been many times throughout my life that I was caught with, the criminals would say, slipping. I've gotten jumped, I've gotten pistol whipped. And if I had went through the proper process of legally possessing a firearm and having my CCW, that when I got in those certain situations that I was talking about, pistol whip, I had to get 6 stitches right here. The guy busted my face all open. My lip was split open, 6 stitches. Blood was just coming down my face like as if I was crying. I had a gash right here. The next morning I had a headache, and the headache lasted for a good solid week. And I just wanted to fight. The guy was even bigger than me. But I've always had this, this spirit, like, can't nobody, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna disrespect me. You know what I'm saying? This guy pulls out a gun and puts it to my head. What am I supposed to do but this? Everybody could talk about what they would do, what they would have done. But until you're into that situation, you can't talk about it. But had I went through the proper, had I went through everything that, I had to go through in order to obtain a legal firearm and conceal it, during that time when I got pistol whipped, I might have been able to get out of that situation. That plain and simple. And I just don't want these things to happen to you all. And I'm glad that I had a friend by the name of Pretty Ricky that put me on. And when I asked him, yo, what can I do, to hook you up? Because you hooked me up. If it weren't for you, if it weren't for him, then I wouldn't be in a situation, I wouldn't have the several firearms that I have right now. Because I used to think just like a whole lot of other minorities used to still think till this day. They think that if any black person has a firearm, it has to be illegal. And that's not the case. And I said to him, yo, what can I do to, return the favor? He said, nah, man, fuck that. Just tell someone else. Let someone else know. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, it's fine to talk about Charlotte. Charlotte's this and Charlotte's that. And everybody asks all these questions. That's important. Just as important. No lie. Relationships, how is it dating in Charlotte? How is the job market? How is the housing market? This and that and so forth. But yo, let me ask you a question, because nobody ever questions this shit. I don't understand it. Even when I move to Atlanta or when I move back to New York or whatever, how are you going to protect the woman that you're with when you are out there dating? How are you going to protect the house that you may purchase? How are you going to protect your property if you don't have no protection at all, because mace ain't gonna cut it. And you know how the saying goes, never bring a what? Knife to a gunfight. And I never understood that. Ain't nobody ever asked me, yo man, what are the gun laws like in Charlotte? Or North Carolina, period? No one. And when they talk about the crime, they just be like, yo, how is the crime, man? Is a lot of shit happening in Durham or Raleigh or Charlotte or this or that? And that's what they say. But I'm telling you, the next move I make, that stuff, let me tell you, I'm not going anywhere without my firearms. It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna work. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I was on that back to Africa. But let me tell you something. I was on that back to Africa stuff. Let me say it the right way, how conscious community say it. Black to Africa. But let me tell you something, yo. If I were to, I said were, if I were to move back to Africa and these motherfuckers told me I can't take the fam with me, oh no, that ain't gonna happen. I love my guns, man. I love my firearms. You know, and just because you have firearms doesn't mean that you're gonna win the gunfight. Straight up. But you do have a chance. You do. Like I got family members now, and I've made this video 1,000 times over. If you understand where I'm coming from, if you feel me. And what's so crazy is these type of videos don't get any views. So I said, you know what? Let me clickbait this shit this time. See if I can kind of trick their asses. You know what I'm saying? Because now for all of a sudden, you know, I've put these Charlotte videos out as of lately. I've been getting these views, these crazy views. You know what I'm saying? I told you all I'm moving out of Charlotte and here's why. And that video got over 6,000 fucking views. And counting. Like if we go into 7 or 8, I know it's gonna be about 10 or more. And that's crazy. But the minute I start talking about guns, we gotta do better. We gotta do better. Like the United States of America is telling you, yo, listen, you can have a gun. And some of you all, once you become a gun owner, right? You do realize you're gonna switch parties, political parties. Because the Democrats want to take your guns away. The Republicans, they like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, you AR-15, all that, you can have it. Straight up. But yeah, man, you know, we living in some serious days and times. Yeah, Charlotte may be a little bit more safer than last year. Well, who's to say that it won't take a turn for the worse? Automation is coming up. You know what I'm saying? Automation is going to take away all these entry-level jobs. So you're going to have robots, you know, flipping your burgers and dumping your fries and all the rest of that shit. If you don't already have that in your city or state, it's coming. Pause. Straight up. Like in Atlanta. I don't see it here in Charlotte too much, but in Atlanta, you go to Wendy's, they got a big ass kiosk. And you pay for all your food on that kiosk and you swipe that bitch and they got like 1 or 2 registers. That's it. That's in Wendy's, McDonald's. That's in Atlanta though, Metro Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And then your name comes on the board and they call you. Sooner than later, you just have robots back there flipping burgers and all the rest of that shit. There won't be no need for no humans. Robots don't need a break. They don't. Excuse me. Robots don't need a vacation. Robots don't get sick. So the more robots take over jobs, there'll be less jobs for human beings. And human beings gonna have to do something in order to survive. And that's when that animal instinct kicks in. And in that animal instinct, when it kicks in, they start kicking in your fucking doors. Then what happens? Because we ain't too far from, for those that have seen that movie, Demolition Man. We're not too far from it. You know? So, yeah, man, you know, I'm about to get out of here. Of course, as usual, I'm the bad guy. I'll be the bad guy. I'll be the bad guy. And what I mean by that is you look at all of these channels and don't get it twisted. I've seen these channels, you know, these people who have talked about Charlotte or whatever, and yo, they're resourceful. You know, you could get some information from them, but they don't give you reality. They don't. They play this fluffy ass music in the background, and they all jolly and jiffy and whatever the fuck, like Care Bears is floating all around and shit, My Little Ponies and shit. And they make it seem like Charlotte is so beautiful and lovely, and to a certain extent it is. But don't sleep. Just because this city is named after a queen, a female, don't think that it can't get busy. Because in the summer, I don't know what the hell it is, but that's mostly everywhere, right? But in the summer here, homicides 3 in a row. How is it that a nigga, 3 motherfuckers get shot in different parts of Charlotte to death? So Charlotte gets busy. Straight up, the baby shot and killed someone in Huntersville Walmart and got away with it. Why? Because he stood his ground and pulled out his legal firearm, protected and defended himself. And it's that plain and simple. So that's all I wanted to tell you all, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll be the bad guy. But guess what? This bad guy, I bet you, had you not listened to this video, and this is the first time you heard this, could potentially save your goddamn life. Straight up. So, the only thing that I ask of you is for you to pass on the information that was passed on to me. Other than that, my name is Langston2092. I want you to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely share this video. Peace.